All right. Getting ready to fire this bad boy up. Nate's going to let me know when we go live. Happy morning to everybody that's joining us now. Welcome to the free webinar. Marvin says hello. And happy to be here together with you. We on? All right, we're good. Been on my mind a lot lately is the way that we think about trading systems. And I've said a lot about this subject in the past, but I don't think I've said it in exactly this way. And I have some pretty strong opinions about this because there are a lot of ways that we get this wrong. And there are just a few ways to get it right. And I don't often say that. But let's walk through a couple of things. Let's say that you have a trading system, and let's say that you are super excited about that trading system. Let's just call it System 1, and that's your trading system. And your system needs, let's just say here, it needs a human most of the time. It could use a robot, right? You need a human running a robot maybe, and then you also need a trading account, right? And you need money in your trading account. And then what you just do is you're supposed to just run that system, and that system is supposed to make you money. And if that system doesn't make you money, then the system is broken, or the system developer is a jerk, or whatever else. And we often, especially in the world of retail trading, we put all the emphasis on the system. I don't necessarily do that, but we often put all the emphasis on the system, especially at the beginning of our trading career. And the system is the answer. Oh, if I just have, if I run this one system that I learned from, this one guy, then everything's going to be great. And a great example of this are people out there teaching what I call supply and demand trading. No judgment here, but they'll talk about how this is how the banks trade. And they'll draw some lines on their charts. And with a little help from Melvin, they'll draw some lines on their charts, and they'll say, well, these are bank trading levels, and this is where the banks are selling, and this is where the banks are buying, or whatever else. And they'll teach this whole thing, and people will get the idea that this system is the answer, and if I just know what the big boys are doing, then everything's going to be okay. And there's this significant, almost cult-like following of systems that are the answer. And like I said, there's no judgment about the bank levels and support and resistance. I think support and resistance is great. But it gets me a little bit upset because it makes for a very, very limited path to success. Because unless you're using a perfect system, which doesn't exist, then you're going to fail. You could do everything perfectly right inside of a system, and you can follow that system, and you can still fail. So I'm a big fan of trading as a business, and I have this whole series of videos that I'm doing for members where we think about running your trading as a business, and we document processes. And once we've documented those processes, we follow that documentation, or we follow a standard operating procedure, an SOP. And once we have that standard operating procedure in place, we know what to do and when to do it. And there's this level of comfort and peace of mind. This peace of mind that comes from feeling like we have a documented process, and because we have a documented process, everything is going to be okay. And now all we need to do is trade that documented process, and everything's going to be just fine. And the problem with that is that everything isn't just fine. And just because we've documented a process doesn't mean that it's actually going to work. And so what I want to do today is I want to talk about why trading systems don't work even when they're documented. And I want to have an honest conversation about that, and I want to make a suggestion about, well, Marvin and I, Marvin's the little guy there, want to make a suggestion about what you can do. So welcome here to the broadcast. I'm happy that you're joining with me. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to spend some time with you over the next, we're going to do a whole series of these kind of conversations and webinars. And so we have a problem that you can follow a documented process and it fails, and you're not making money even though you're following a system that someone documented. And this is the mountain. This is the obstacle. We'll do a little snow-capped mountain, right? So and you're on this climb up the mountain, and you've hit this obstacle. And this obstacle is that every trading system eventually fails. And even if it's documented, and even if you do exactly as the author of the trading system taught you to do, the trading system can fail. And the trading system can fail because market conditions change, because the trading system doesn't consider those market conditions changed. The trading system can be directionally biased. And here's the problem. And I talked to my friend Boris about this on WhatsApp the other day. And Boris mentioned something that's been on my mind for a long time, and he phrased it really brilliantly. He said, all traders are doing is following a story. Especially as a discretionary trader, you're following a story. You'll follow news, or you'll follow trend lines, or you'll follow a moving average, and you'll tell yourself a story about the market, and that story is true, and then we fall for that story, and then we live inside of that story, and then we hit an obstacle in that story, and then everything gets messed up. And that's because most of the stories that we tell ourselves as traders in order to produce a trade, and those are really systems that say, oh, think about the market like system 1 tells you to think about the market. Every single trading system will eventually fail because market conditions change. You might be trading a trend trading system, but then the market starts to drop, and then your trend trading system just gets blown apart into 1,000 million pieces. And so this is what goes wrong. This is the centerpiece of the problem, is that we tell ourselves stories, and we believe that these stories are true. We believe that we've told ourselves that trend trading works, or counter trend trading doesn't work, or that bank levels work. And I think I'm right at the very bottom. We tell ourselves all these things. I'm going to move this camera back so we can move up everything here. So we tell ourselves all these things, and then when they don't work, we get really disappointed and we get depressed and whatever else. So I want to incorporate a new aspect to trading system. And what I want to do is I want to call it personal financial responsibility. I want to call it PFR. You can probably see this. PFR. That no matter what trading system you follow, your trading system is invariably going to have a gigantic problem, and you're going to run into a situation where your trading system isn't working anymore. No matter how well documented it was, no matter how smart the person who built it was, it's going to run into a problem. And this personal financial responsibility means one thing. And here we go. I've said it 1,000 times before, but I haven't prefaced it in this way before. Small size. Because every trading system fails, the most important thing that any trader can do is trade a smaller trade size. No matter what one's trade size is, you will get better by reducing that trade size so that it doesn't matter that your trading system fails. And in fact, what can happen is you can run through a string of losses if you're using a stop loss. or you can run through a drawdown. And it doesn't matter because your trade size is small. Either the string of losses is so small and represents such a insignificant amount of lost money that you don't care about it, or the drawdown is small enough that it doesn't matter. Now, there's a guy on YouTube who's, I'm not going to say arguing with me, but criticizing me for holding open a New Zealand dollar trade in one of my trading accounts. And he's pretty upset, and he's made me a better person by criticizing it. And he's what he's got. We have a disagreement, all right. So he's not a bad person, and whatever else. But he's got this story in his mind. He's told himself this story. It's fine, whatever. That anytime you hold open a loss, or whatever story he's told himself, he thinks that by holding on to this trade, I've made a giant mistake, and that's wrong. And he's religiously angry about it. He's thumping his religious text down and saying, that's a mistake, and that's going to fail, and you're doing it wrong. And my answer is, first of all, I love you. Thank you for trying to help me out. Whatever. My answer is, if I trade a small enough trade size, if I've been doing that long enough, I don't care. I don't care about your story. That's true for you. That's fine for you. We can have a disagreement. I can do it a different way. And you've made me a better person by convincing me that the trade sizes on those trades should have been smaller. Thank you for that. But I don't care. I don't need to do anything the way that anybody else does it. I don't need to follow anybody else's story. There's zero traders who have traded for a living or built a hedge fund or built a business as a trader who are just doing what someone else told them to do. All success in trading, every single success in trading is you building a system and taking personal financial responsibility for the success of that system. That it's not the system's fault if it fails, it's your fault. It's my fault if my system fails. And the only person I have to answer to is me. I don't have to build something that looks like what other people like. I don't have to build something that follows the true principles handed down on stone tablets from the gods of trading to Van Tharp and Alexander Elder and whatever. I don't care. I don't have to do anything the way that anybody else did it, ever. I can do everything in a completely unique way. I can be directionally ambivalent. I can build robotic systems or whatever you want to say. But I have to take personal financial responsibility for all of the results, even if the system is documented and even if I learned it from someone else. And here's how that happens. I reduce my trade size, and then I compound gains over time. And if something goes wrong, I don't care. I don't care that something goes wrong. Now, I am a pretty huge fan of building positions, constructing. Here's a little building with a little smokestack at the top. Here's a little balcony on the building. Here's all the windows in the building. I am a pretty big fan of building positions, of starting out a trade and then adding on to it, whether positive or negative. I'm a pretty big fan of that. And I get a lot of criticism for this. I like it. That's when you know you're doing something right. And tomorrow, in our next session, what I want to talk about is thinking about trading in terms of building positions rather in terms of binary wins and losses, and how this is controversial and how you might do it with a small size to compound gains over time, and how that can turn you into one of the world's greatest traders of all time. I'm super happy to spend some time with you. This is my life's work, is communicating with you and helping you. I'm trying to become a better person, and I think when you become a better person, you become a better trader. God bless all of you. I hope that you know how much I love you and how much I care about you, even when we disagree. And I hope you come back tomorrow. If you're interested in our mentorship program, my mentorship program, there's a link on this video below, and that will guide you to a video with stories of successful traders and an application to work with me. And I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.